What if the person you trusted the most, the person you welcomed into your home, your life, and your most private thoughts was quietly hiding intentions you couldn't see until it was too late? What if the person you thought was safe turned out to be the one thing you should have feared all along? Lisa Peterson thought she was building a new beginning. After years of feeling invisible, exhausted by the pressures of single motherhood and the weight of a failed marriage, she let someone in, someone who felt familiar, even safe. Ryan Mitchell, her son's best friend, seemed like he needed her help. He was young, directionless, and searching for stability. And Lisa, always the caretaker, thought she could save him. But Ryan wasn't just her son's friend. He wasn't just the houseguest who slept in the spare bedroom. He was Lisa's secret lover, a gigolo she paid to fill the emptiness she hid so well from the outside world. What started as an arrangement quickly blurred into something deeper, something neither of them seemed to fully understand. But as the weeks passed, that connection shifted. The closeness Lisa once craved began to feel suffocating. Ryan's charm gave way to something sharper, something unpredictable. And by the time Lisa realized just how far things had gone, it was already too late to turn back. On August 14, 2022, Lisa Peterson was found dead in her own bed. The bedroom told a story the neighbors never saw coming. Blood soaked the sheets. Glass littered the carpet. Furniture was broken and shoved aside, as if the entire room had been caught in chaos. It was clear that Lisa had fought back. And yet, her killer didn't run. He didn't even leave town. Ryan Mitchell called 911 himself, voice trembling, claiming it was all a mistake. But as detectives began to dig into the details of that night, and into Ryan's past, the truth they uncovered painted a far darker picture than anyone expected. Because this wasn't a random attack. It wasn't an act of impulse. It was the end of something that had been unraveling for months. It was the result of obsession, control, and emotions pushed past the point of no return. Lisa thought Ryan needed her. She thought she was saving him. Instead, she had invited him into her home, her life, and her heart, never realizing that in doing so, she had sealed her fate. What led a trusted friend and lover to become a killer? Was it desperation? Possession? Or something even more disturbing? This is more than a story about loss. It's a story about trust, vulnerability, and how quickly affection can turn dangerous. It's about the lines we cross when desire clouds judgment, and the irreversible damage left behind. Stay with me as we unravel the choices, emotions, and events that led to Lisa Peterson's final moments. Because once you see what really happened, you'll question just how well you know the people you let into your life. Greenfield, Ohio, a small, unassuming town where most people didn't lock their doors. It was a place where neighbors borrowed sugar and left their car keys on the counter. That sense of safety disappeared on the morning of August 14, 2022. Lisa Peterson was 42, a devoted mother and respected school administrator. She spent years raising her son, Tyler, on her own after her divorce, pouring everything she had into building a stable life. Friends described her as warm, reliable, and selfless. To outsiders, Lisa's world looked steady, even enviable. Behind closed doors, though, Lisa was lonely. Years of carrying life's burdens alone had worn her down, leaving her searching for something, or someone, to make her feel alive again. Ryan Mitchell was 19. Directionless, broke, and drifting through life, he had been Tyler's best friend for years. Lisa knew him well, trusted him. So when he needed a place to stay, she offered him more than shelter. She gave him a fresh start. What started as an act of generosity grew complicated. Lisa wasn't just giving Ryan a home, she was paying him for companionship. It began as an arrangement that met both their needs. Lisa found comfort, and Ryan found security. Over time, their connection shifted. Lisa clung to Ryan for emotional escape, while Ryan began to crave control. When the lines between them blurred, neither seemed ready for the consequences. And when Lisa finally tried to pull away, the fragile balance between them collapsed. Months before the murder, she confided in someone close to her without mentioning who the very person was, a police officer. "I know this has to stop," Lisa told him. "But he says he needs me. He says no one's ever cared about him like I do. I'm scared to let him go." At the time, these words were brushed off as a sign of a troubled relationship. No one realized the depth of her fear, nor the true danger she was in. Lisa's words, meant to explain her hesitations, hinted at a growing unease. But no one understood just how much that fear would grow in the coming months, until it was too late. Ryan Mitchell moved into the Peterson home just months before the murder. At first, everything seemed normal. Lisa's son, Tyler, welcomed his best friend with open arms. Ryan had been part of their lives for years, so his presence didn't raise any immediate concerns. But soon, Tyler started noticing changes: late-night conversations behind closed doors, secretive text messages, and an increasing tension between his mother and Ryan that he couldn't ignore. It wasn't just Tyler who began to feel something wasn't right. Neighbors also saw odd behavior from Ryan. Late at night, they noticed him pacing outside the house, his eyes locked on the windows. They heard raised voices too, arguments spilling through the walls, but no one ever stepped forward. At the time, it seemed like a family matter, nothing more. As the days went by, the atmosphere grew heavier. The unease became impossible to ignore. Then, the threat started. Text messages later recovered by police revealed a troubling shift in Ryan's behavior. His anger and jealousy were on full display, accusing Lisa of seeing other men, of abandoning him. At first, he begged her to stay, to continue the relationship. But when that didn't work, his messages turned darker, more possessive. "If I can't have you, no one else will. You promised me. Don't make me do something we'll both regret." These weren't just idle threats, they were a clear warning. Ryan's growing obsession and his inability to handle rejection were becoming evident. Lisa, already anxious, dismissed them as empty words, unaware of the danger looming closer with each passing day. On the night of August 13th, everything she feared came to a horrifying head. Surveillance footage showed Ryan entering Lisa's bedroom at 2:14 a.m. He walked in calmly, holding nothing but his phone. There was nothing unusual about his demeanor, but that calmness was quickly shattered by what happened next. Hours later, Ryan called 911. His voice cracked with panic. She's dead. I didn't mean to. I don't know what happened." The desperation in his voice was unmistakable. But when officers arrived, the scene told a different story. Everything Ryan had said seemed to fall apart. Lisa's bedroom was in chaos, as if there had been a violent struggle. Lisa hadn't gone down quietly. She had fought back with everything she had. The autopsy revealed the brutal reality. Multiple stab wounds, along with defensive wounds, told the story of a woman trying to survive, trying to escape. This wasn't a crime of passion, this was a violent, determined attack. As investigators dug deeper, the pieces of evidence became even more damning. Blood-stained clothing was found in Ryan's car. A knife, partially cleaned, was discovered in a creek just miles from the house. This wasn't the aftermath of an accidental act. It was the careful disposal of evidence, the steps of someone trying to cover their tracks. When questioned, Ryan's story kept changing. First, he claimed it was a robbery gone wrong. Then, he said he acted in self-defense. But as the details began to collapse around him, Ryan's confession turned into a chilling admission: things just got out of control. But the mounting evidence painted a much darker picture. Text messages between Ryan and Lisa revealed threats. Ryan had accused Lisa of seeing other men, begged her not to leave him, and even warned her of what would happen if she ever betrayed him. He had researched how to clean blood stains, how to dispose of a weapon, and told friends that if Lisa ever broke their bond, she'd regret it. Now the question was no longer whether Ryan had killed Lisa, it was why. Was it love twisted by obsession? A need for control? Or was it something more frightening, something far more calculated? The simple arrangement that once existed between Ryan and Lisa had shifted into a nightmare. And now, with every new discovery, the true horror of their relationship was becoming clear. The trial that followed gripped the nation. The defense painted Ryan as a victim of emotional manipulation, claiming that Lisa, fully aware of his vulnerability, had exploited him for her own selfish desires. They suggested Ryan was just a pawn in Lisa's game, pushed to the edge by a woman who took advantage of his brokenness. The prosecution, however, offered a chilling counternarrative. They described Ryan as a predator, someone who had used Lisa's loneliness against her, feeding off her need for companionship. And when Lisa tried to break free, when she tried to step out of his control, he lashed out in a final, brutal act of dominance. The jury's decision was swift and unambiguous. Ryan Mitchell was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. For Tyler, the pain ran deeper than anyone could imagine. His best friend, the one person he trusted above all others, had betrayed him in the most heart-wrenching way possible. His mother, the woman he had loved and admired, was now gone, her life taken by someone she had welcomed into their home. The betrayal shattered him, and with it, any sense of safety he had once found in the people closest to him. Now, Tyler speaks out publicly, confronting the trauma of his family's tragedy in hopes of sparing others from a similar fate. His story is a stark reminder of how manipulation can worm its way into the most intimate of relationships, how the line between love and control can be dangerously thin. Tyler's voice carries the weight of his own painful lesson, that sometimes the people we trust the most can be the ones who hurt us the deepest. What do you think? Was Ryan truly a victim, manipulated beyond his control, or was he a predator, hiding behind a facade of vulnerability to get what he wanted? Did Lisa's actions unintentionally set this tragedy in motion, or was Ryan's jealousy a ticking time bomb, destined to detonate no matter what? Could anyone have seen the signs of the danger lurking beneath the surface? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This story isn't just about a single act of violence, it's about the lies we tell, the secrets we keep, and the invisible forces that drive us to extremes. It's about how far some will go to maintain control, to keep their darkest truths hidden, even if it means taking someone else's life to protect them. And if this chilling story left you questioning the people around you, wondering how well you really know the ones closest to you, then subscribe for more cases like this. Cases that expose the lies we believe, and the shocking depths some will sink to in order to keep their secrets buried. This is just the beginning. Keep watching, because there are more stories out there. Stories that will make you question everything you thought you knew about trust, betrayal, and the dark truths we hide. As you turn off this video, think about it. Who are the people in your life? Who hold your trust, your heart? Are they who they seem to be? Or is there something lurking in the shadows, waiting to emerge when you least expect it?